Hey guys, welcome to the daily news analysis of 17th of February. Guys, let's see the very first news. First news is about Anti-Narcotics Scheme. Now, the assistance to state and union territories for narcotic control scheme. The time period of it has been increased from 2017-2018 to 2019-2020. And also guys, funding mechanism of around rupees 21 crore is being allotted by the government under it. So let's see what is this anti-narcotics scheme, guys. The aim of this scheme is to combat the illicit trafficking that has been taken in the territory of India, border territory of India in terms of drug. Actually, see guys, if you see the location of India, say for example, this is the peninsular India and this is India total, right? So in this part we have a golden crescent and in this part we have golden triangle, right? So both the regions are very much the breeding ground for drugs manufacturing and production, right? So since India is falling under between these two regions, so there is a high probability of carrying out this drug trafficking in both the sides, right? So in order to combat these things, central government has said that we are coming up with this scheme. This is called an anti-narcotics scheme, and then nodal agency that has been assigned under this scheme is Narcotics Control Bureau. Sorry, it is the national nodal agency because what it does is whenever any state government or any union territories call for the financial assistance under this scheme, so they just check the status and they just see whether the funding must be given, whether the funding should be given to the state or union territories or not, right? And if they found it, then they just give it to them, right? So the purpose of the scheme is to basically to assist the state government and union territories which are contributing in controlling the interstate and cross-border trafficking of drugs, right? So this was all about this news. Next is government has dropped the idea of India EV policy, that is India electric vehicle policy. Actually guys, the government has come with a scheme which is called FAME scheme, right? What is the full form of this FAME scheme? That is faster adoption and manufacturing of hybrid and electric vehicles scheme, right? So under this scheme basically it has been said that eco-friendliness will be promoted. How? By giving incentive on hybrid vehicles. Now what are hybrid vehicles? Those vehicles which are being run by petrol as well as electric. So those are not a hybrid vehicle. So the government has said that if any an automobile company is manufacturing two-wheelers or three-wheelers auto or passengers four-wheelers or light commercial vehicles, then and that should be hybrid. In that are hybrid, then subsidies will be provided by the government so that the end customer could get these product at a cheaper cost, right? And if they get this product at a cheaper cost, then of course the sale will be promoted. If the sale will be promoted, then people won't purchase petrol more, and if they won't purchase petrol more, then it will be beneficial for the government also as well as the environment also, right? So that's why to considering all the multiple benefits, government has come up with this FAME India initiative. Now regarding the news, government has earlier thought of coming up with this electric vehicle policy, that is EV policy, but government has now dropped that policy. Now why government has dropped that policy? Because it was being lobbied by the automobile industry for the government to drop this idea, because if this idea would have been implemented, then it would have created uncertainty in the automobile industries, right? So that's why automobile industries have thought to do away with this. Actually, see guys, for setting up of or for implementation of this electric vehicle policy throughout the Indian territory, what we actually need is infrastructure of this charging infrastructure. If this charging infrastructure cannot be provided by the government, then how could even government imagine that they can implement such kind of a scheme very smoothly in India, right? So it would have been created many doubts within the automobile industry. That's why automobile industries have lobbied against for the government to drop this idea, and that's why government has dropped this idea for now. But let's see what anything might happen in future, right? So yeah, next news is about a tri-service maritime exercise, and the name is Paschim Lehar. Now guys, Paschim in Hindi is called west, right? Purab, that is east, Paschim, that is west, Purab, Paschim, Uttar, Dakshin, है ना? Uttar means north and Dakshin means south, right? So since it is Paschim Lehar, means western Lehar, the name has been given to this exercise. Now this exercise will be done by the Eastern Naval Command as well as Indian Army, Indian Air Force and Coast Guard and the main aim is to build interoperability between all these organizations. Actually, it will be participated by many number of ships, submarines and aircraft, and this type of tri-service maritime exercise is conducted so that the different forces can get themselves updated, so that if in coming future any sort of fighting happens with some sort of enemy countries, then the interoperability can be done at a very smooth manner, right? So this is about this Paschim Lehar, just remember it. Next news is about Delhi hosts India's first radio festival. Now the festival was organized by International Association of Women in Radio and Transmission. The short form is IAWRT, and this has been done in the collaboration with UNESCO, right? And guys, basically the event, the theme of this event is sports and radio. And regarding this organization, that is International Association of Women in Radio and Television, guys, so it is a global organization formed by the professional women which is working in electronics and allied media, with a mission to strengthen the initiative towards ensuring women views and values, so that the main aim is so that the women views and values can be given respect, and in future the mission could be strengthened. In media sector, the imprint of women could be improved, right? And it is managed by international board which oversees funding initiative for a number of local chapters and member activities. So this is about this news. Next is Myanmar delays Rohingya repatriation. See guys, actually first of all I just want to tell a few of background. See, Myanmar is a country in Southeast Asia, and it is India's neighbor, right? There is a region in Myanmar which is called Rakhine region, and within that Rakhine region there lives many Rohingya Muslims, right? And now see, Myanmar is predominantly a Buddhist country, right? So few of the Orthodox Buddhist faction which is living in Myanmar, they don't want these Rohingya Muslims to live in their soil, right? So before few days what happened was, there was a large scale genocide that has happened with these Rohingya peoples, right? And for escaping with those genocide, these Rohingya peoples went to Bangladesh, right? So Bangladesh has given them the place to live in. And so this news is regarding that only. Actually many agreements has been done between the Bangladesh and the Myanmar government, and in which Myanmar government has said that okay, we will do the repatriation of all the Rohingya Muslims whosoever are living in Bangladesh, right? But that repatriation process is getting very much delayed, and in fact the Bangladesh has also told that the Rohingyas are still crossing the border in spite of the fact that two countries has already signed an agreement, right? So that influxing of these Rohingya Muslims are not being stopping, right? So that's what being said by the Bangladesh part, right? And in this news guys, one more fact was given, and that is about Medicines Sans Frontiers. So what is it guys? See, these type of news I'm discussing just because of the reason that they have a huge probability of directly UPSC can ask them that what is it, right? So and these kind of questions has already popped up in your paper, so they can ask you anyways. So let's start guys. What is it? It is also known as Doctors Without Frontiers, and it has been founded in the year 1971, right? Just remember the date, 1971. It is known for its project in war-torn regions and developing countries which are mainly affected by endemic diseases, because it provides us some sort of free medication services, right, in those regions. And in the year 1999, it has also received a Nobel Peace Prize. And guys, just remember, it has also received a Nobel Peace Prize, and those organizations whosoever gets Nobel Prize, they are very much important for the UPSC perspective, right? So just remember that also. So yeah, why it has got Nobel Prize? Just because of the effort that is being put forth by this organization to provide medical care in the acute crisis, as well as it has done a huge very much good thing in raising the international awareness of potential humanitarian disasters that might happen in future in any countries. Next news is about fiscal deficit. Actually, International Monetary Fund has welcomed the India's fiscal deficit target which the government has put in budget, right? Now, what the IMF said, actually IMF noted that India is returning to the path of gradual fiscal consolidation, and in the recent report by the IMF World Economic Outlook, So in that it has been projected that the GDP growth of India in the year 2018 will be projected at 7.4% growth, but in 2019 it will be increased to 0.4%, that is 7.8%, right? That this is being forecasted by IMF. Now, since the news is whole and sole, revolving around fiscal deficit, so I just want to make you know that what this fiscal deficit is, right? See, what happens is in government, they earn, right, in the form of revenue, and they just waste, do its expenditure in the form of expenditure. Yeah. So say for example, government is getting X amount of money and government is expending X plus 5 amount of money, right? So from where this 5 is coming? This 5 is becoming the fiscal deficit, and this fiscal deficit is being borrowed by the government from different other organizations, right? So this is what the concept of fiscal deficit. Now guys, what happens is, if say for example, now this is any government, right? Just remember, and after 5 years there comes any other government, so they will also earn Y amount of money, and they might spend Y plus 10 amount of money or Y plus 15 amount of money, right? So this, in order to make sure that this figure doesn't rise much, right, government have come up with a policy in which government has said that okay, we will keep up the fiscal deficit target to X percentage, means whatsoever that percentage may be, right? And this time government has said that okay, we will just set it by 3.3%, means the government will make sure that the whatever they're earning, their expenditure won't increase by 103.3% of the revenue that they are earning, right? So this is what the concept of this fiscal deficit target is, means this is the target which is being done by the government, and this target will keep on, it is said that this target will keep on being, it must get reduced or it must be at a minimum level, so that in future government, if they are coming, then they should not do expenditure much, right? They should also care about okay, our government must make a fiscal deficit target of this, so that the government can reach this target, right? So this is what the concept of this fiscal deficit target. So this was all about it. And regarding the economic survey guys, I've done it in Hindi, so if you at all want to access it, yesterday I have uploaded the very 6th chapter, and remember, it is very important chapter just because of the reason that it is dealing with the environment section, and that environment section in our UPSC preparation is very, very, very much important, right? So if you are just missing it, you are missing it a very huge thing, right? So anyways, this was about it. And regarding the mains answer writing guys, so if you have not seen that, so you can see that also, that is also being continued, right? And this is regarding the Telegram channel. So if you want to access the free PDF, so you can subscribe to this Telegram channel. So yeah, this was all about it guys. We'll meet in tomorrow's class. Till then, bye bye, take care, and thank you for listening to this guys. Thank you very much.